All right. Yeah, it's really lovely to see more and more people coming to these things. It's really nice. I think the sharing of this is in no way contradicting the essence of a an indescribable message of non-duality and freedom. On the contrary, I think it really complements it from an embodied movement and just the simple expression of bodies enjoying to move, to stretch, to feel. And it's a very primal, it's a very primal and natural approach that these sessions seem to take. A natural way in which the body is inclined to be with itself, so to speak, without feeling like that's a personal situation. It's a celebration. It's a celebration of bodies. So with that in mind, we can just find a comfortable seat if you like. And if you wish, we can close down the eyes. I'm just going to do a little bit of checking in. This is often how I like to start these sessions, just to get a sense of what's going on. And I'm going to be particularly drawing a focus on the senses, the sense perceptions. Mm. So just taking that time to get comfy. You can lie down if you want to. There's not going to be any movement just yet. So getting into that comfortable position where the spine is long and supported, and the body feels connected to the earth. So perhaps that's our first sensory engagement check-in. It's just to feel that tactile sensation of the body meeting the floor, the ground, the chair, the mat, whatever it seems to be held by. Taking that time, there's absolutely no rush. As you probably know, if you've been to any of these sessions, this is absolutely not about getting anywhere. There's no rush for anything really. The body is taking that time for itself to just simply arrive as it is, as it already is. Any point you want to have a lovely big breath in and out, just go for it. I've said it a few times already, although I don't mind repeating this. One of the lovely things about these Zoom Yochini sessions is that everybody's on mute, and most people are probably in a fairly secluded space, which means you can make as much or as little noise as you like, which means that sighs are not going to disrupt anyone. So you can sigh or yawn or blow that air out through the mouth. This is another sensory perception of sound, but also vibration in different parts of the body. Which is another way of engaging with the very primal way of being, shall we say. The body is less and less about thinking and analyzing, and rather sensing and feeling the breath, the ground. And you might notice any enjoyment that arises in the simplicity of sensation and vibration. Kinesthetic sensations opening up, opening up. Maybe things are seeming to change. The way in which the body holds itself, the way in which sensation presents itself unobjectifiably. It's the pure immediacy of sensation and vibration, however it's currently appearing to present itself. You may also introduce another sense perception, which is the sensation of temperature, whether the body feels cool or warm. The simplicity of sensation, of coolness or warmth. Along with the sensation of textures of garments enveloping the skin. All these little things circulating around the body. So just like we did yesterday, I'm just going to introduce a very simple breathing exercise. You don't have to open your eyes just yet. You can keep them closed if you're enjoying that visual retreat. You can just simply, if you want to, rest one or both hands on the tummy. Or if you want, you can rest one hand on the chest and one hand on the tummy. What we're going to do here is just check in with the breath, so to speak. And the breath can really feel itself sensationally in the different regions of the torso. And this is another tactile kinesthetic checking in. Feel that contact the hand makes with that region of the body. Lovely. You don't have to stay rigidly still if you don't want to. Somehow or other, this body feels like it wants to rock gently forwards and backwards whilst breathing in and out. No one decides, it just happens. So yeah, it's really nice when the body intuitively understands what it wants to do. And I like to make that quite clear during these Yogini sessions that there is no right or wrong way for the body to move, breathe, or be. So sometimes when I say something, it might not really resonate with every single body. And so we might find that there does want to be a bit of movement, or there does want to be more stillness, which is all okay. Wherever you are, perhaps there's just an enjoyment of breath, sensation, maybe even emotion. It's all good. Mm. We don't have to rush into any particular way of being. Body is still or moving or a combination. Again, if the body has a tendency to feel quite active in thought mode, this is totally okay. It's not an obstacle. But you might like to see if that sensation of their palms connecting quite firmly to the body is helping the body to receive this information of stability, safety, comfort. A very subtle, extremely subtle technique. But when the hands are pressing on the body, it's receiving all kinds of information biochemically. Using that contact, the pressing of a hand to the chest or the tummy, or both. And if you want to, you can sigh the breath out here. And when you do, if you do, feel that vibration move quite palpably in the chest if your hand is on the chest. When you go, you can really feel this resonance in the heart space. You can always swap hands if you like as well, just to keep the shoulders easy. Mm. Feeling the texture of the clothes if the hands are still pressed somewhere. Feel that nice sensation of the cotton or the whatever it is, whatever that texture is. Just feel that sensation. Nice. All right. Before we start to introduce more movement, maybe we can do a hum or two if you feel like it. It's totally invitational. Remember, these are invitational sessions, not instructional ones. So they're just random suggestions that come along, which seem to seamlessly flow from one to another. So if you like, if you want to hum, then go for it. We're going to take a deep breath in, and on that exhale, the lips are closed, and there's going to be this beautiful elongated humming vibrating throughout the whole body. And whilst we do that together, I'm going to say a few things about what that apparently does for the whole nervous system. All right, but I'll do it the first time with you. All right, so we breathe in here, if you haven't already. Nice, long, deep, juicy breath. Mm. I'm just going to do that a few more times if you want to, if it's comfortable. I'll say a few things about this. So just keep on enjoying that breath in and that lovely elongated humming. Now, this is doing so many lovely things for the body. Humming is an excellent exercise. In yoga, I believe it's called the Brahmari breath, a certain pranayama, possibly also considered a kriya as well, cleansing technique for the nervous system. Apparently, the yogis observed bees humming in nature and they decided to copy them. And what they found is that that vibration moves throughout the whole shushumna, the spinal cord, the central nervous system as well. It resonates through the central midline and it's activating different pathways in and around the body. Apparently, it also resonates around the cranium and the brain as well. And it's said that this can help neural pathways to be stimulated and activated. It can also seem to reduce anxiety and stress and tension. And it's a breathing exercise, meaning that when you hum for an elongated amount of time, you are breathing out for an elongated amount of time. And when we breathe out for an elongated amount of time, we are soothing and turning on the parasympathetic nervous system, rest and digest mode. So if you are enjoying that, just have a few more and I'll join. Enjoying that vibration moving through the body. You might feel it in the chest, you might feel it in the throat, you might feel it in the jaw and the cranium as well. So you can carry on resting the hands on the belly or the chest if you like. Alternatively, you can rest the hands on the jaw and feel that really beautiful vibration resonating there. It's quite surprising, actually. Beautiful humming vibration, soothing the whole body, nervous system, every system really. Perhaps the hinges of the jaw can just gently soften and relax. We can very habitually hold a lot of tension in the hinges and around the hinges of the jaw, so we can invite them to relax and soften. Okay, lovely. It's a nice beginning to this session. Maybe if you're sitting down on the floor, we can have a look at resting the hands on the by the sides of the hips. And now that we're feeling the hips and the sit bones and maybe the legs on the ground, we can also feel the palms on the ground too. Shoulders are as relaxed as can be. And again, it's just about really sensing into the tactile. Again, the texture of the mat or the cushion, whatever it is that the hands are touching, just feel that sensationality. This is a cork yoga mat, so it's quite nice to just have a little feel of it. And you might like to just play with moving around a little bit and improvising. There's just an intuitive opening up to the way the body wants to move. And I can introduce floor-based micro movements or macro movements. What does the body want to do right now? Might want to stretch laterally or bend laterally. It might like to play with resting back, opening the chest and the neck. You might want to do the forward fold. No right or wrong answer. Just playing with however the body wants to move. Just keep that going. Very nice. One thing I really enjoy about these sessions is that it's very open to be what it is. The body is just allowed. It's just allowed to express itself the way it wants to. There's no right or wrong answer. And it's not that that's any better or worse than any other yoga session that people may have attended, but there's a lot of freedom in this sort of approach, for lack of a better word, where the body is really invited and allowed to just do whatever it wants to do. There's no rigid system here. There's not much structure, basically. It's very nice. The body can just take this time to stretch move, bend, twist, fold, however it wants to. Ah. So if you don't have a sense of intuitively knowing how to move, then you can just copy me and watch me. I've not got a plan here. It's just what's happening. But I am quite enjoying placing the hands on the ground, and somehow or other that feels quite nice, but you don't have to do that either. You could even play with stroking the ground, rubbing the hands everywhere, really feeling that earth element. And you can also move the legs around as well, place the feet on the ground, or do whatever. Just really exploring the different ways in which the body can take shape and change shape. No right or wrong. Gorgeous. That's it. Yes, I love it. So the invitation is wherever you are, whatever you're doing, it's just to come back to that ground sensation, as it were, the different points of contact the body makes with the ground, and feeling the kinesthetic sensations ever apparently changing it with each and every shape the body makes. Mm, nice, nice. Let's keep on playing with that. You may also notice the way the breath wants to breathe whilst we're exploring different ways of moving. Okay, so you can just keep on doing what you want, however you want to be. I may give a few more suggestions as to what we can do if you feel like you're running out of ideas. You don't have to observe the screen too closely, as screens are obviously very good for receiving information, but as I'm sure we all know all too well, we can be overloaded by that digital sensory input and can be an overload. So you don't have to watch me, you don't have to look at me if you don't want to. If you want to refrain from looking at screens, so I'll just speak a bit and you can follow the invitation as loosely or as closely as you like. What I'm seeming to do here is pressing the palms quite firmly into the earth. Press, pressing into the earth. Again, if you find something else that you like to do, it's really okay. Sometimes we feel like we need permission to go off the rails in a bodily way or a movement way, but we don't need permission here to move however you want to. You can find a different way of moving, it's totally fine. But if you're enjoying this kind of thing, it's quite nice. And we're getting a bit of a flexion and extension through the spine in this particular movement when we press the palms down in front of us. And we're kind of folding forwards, getting this nice movement in the back of the body, particularly the lumbar region of the spine. All right, pressing the palms firmly into the earth as we come back up again. Ah, that sensory engagement. You might even end up resting your forehead on the earth. Although if the hips come off the ground when you do that, it might be better to either come into a kneeling position or change the legs if they're crossed. You can even do a child's pose. Mm. Oh, but this is how children are, isn't it? This is like being a child again. That never wasn't. It's just getting lost in the in loveness of sensation. Often is the case that especially very, very young children, as I'm sure many of you know, don't it's not enough just to look. They want to touch everything and put everything in their mouth. Now, I'm not going to suggest that we put anything in our mouth here, but the idea is that we're getting really into that embodied sensationality that perhaps we seem to lose from time to time. This is another nice idea, is to claw through the fingertips and brush against the carpet or the floor or relax all of those muscles and joints up and down the arms, the shoulders, and wherever else. Wow, that feels really nice. Okay, maybe we can play with doing brush strokes on the legs as well. Again, it's another suggestion and invitation. You don't have to. But brush strokes are really effective, really, really effective at calming the nervous system. Brush strokes up and down the legs, maybe, or the arms. Every single time the body feels a part of itself, it's receiving information all the time, all the time. If you are doing brush strokes on the legs, you can really play with slowing it down, simplifying it, and making that touch more and more soft every time, every time. It could be just the fingertips, or it could be the palms as well. It's all about intuitively finding what feels nicest right now. Mm. If you want to play with a gentle asana as well as doing the brush strokes, you can brush up and down the legs whilst they are out in front of you, long, relatively extending from the knees, but not too straight and not too locked here. Um, so you can bend the knees as generously as you want to. They could even be all the way up, it's fine. And if you are enjoying this one, you can brush down to the feet and the toes and fold gently forwards. Mm. Relaxing the shoulders as much as possible. Mm. Nice to play with the breath as we do this as well. Breathing in, out, through the nose or the mouth. Ah. You may notice here that as I come out, I straighten the knees as I go forwards. I slightly bend them because it's still, well, it's not early in the morning, but it is the morning here, and yeah, the body isn't really ready for quite a dynamic, full-blown Paschimottanasana at this time of day, and you might be the same. There's no point in forcing the body to be as straight as a board or whatever. Hmm. If you're enjoying this brushstroke motion, then just keep it going. Enjoy. Alternatively, you could play with squeezing. Not too hard, just squeezing different parts of the body. Gentle squeezing the feet, calves, the quads, hamstring. Eyes are fairly closed, if not completely. Mm. Okay. And maybe if you like to follow me, you don't have to. Again, remember, you really don't have to. I'm gonna do this. So I'm gonna bring the soles of the feet together. If this is uncomfortable at this time of day as well, you just stick to cross-legged or kneeling. It's totally, totally fine. But if you like, you can bring the soles of the feet together and play with a lateral stretch. Again, each time you do this, you can really feel into the ground. So you can feel the palm and maybe even the forearm pressing firmly into the earth. And we're going to wave like a palm tree in the wind. Mm. Ah, nice. Just being keenly cautious with the lumbar spine if you are in the bound angle posture. You can just keep flowing from one side to the other, but if you feel like it, you can rest on one side, check in with that. You can even look to the ceiling whilst resting the forearm firmly down before switching. Ah, oh, that feels lovely. Well done, everyone. Lovely to see these. flowing movements happening in their own unique, wonderful way. Oh, mm, mm. If you're ready to switch it up, you can have a bit of a foot massage or just keep it going, whatever you're doing. If you like, you can squeeze the feet and give yourself some lovely reflexology, pressing into the different pressure points and reflex points in the soles of the feet. I really like to do this from time to time when one is sitting with oneself and doing asanas. Pressing nice and firmly if you want to into the soles of the feet, different reflex points, apparently stimulating different glands and organs and muscles in the body. The anatomy of the body mapped out beautifully in the soles of the feet and the palms of the hands. If you have an expensive pair of socks, you might like to take them off now. Because I tell you, the more you do this, they do wear out. I've been through many pairs of socks, and I think one of the reasons that might be is because I do this a lot. Now, carry that on if you want to, but you can just play with the spinal position as well. So if it's quite uncomfortable to remain in this posture, you can place a cushion underneath the hips. You could even place a cushion underneath the knees actually and support them that way. Or you can sort of fold forwards wherever you are. It's just about listening to what feels right, what feels comfortable. No right or wrong always, but there's that listening quality here, listening psychosomatically to what the body enjoys, how it feels comfortable in each posture that it adopts and adapts. Oh, okay. If you want to, we can transition from cobbler's pose to butterfly pose. Now, people sometimes think that cobbler and butterfly are the same. They actually aren't. Butterfly, I believe, is where the feet are actually pressed together. So it's like you've closed the book and we can interlace the fingers over the feet and just have a little bounce through the knees. Butterfly pose. That lovely, bouncy, gentle suspension in the hips. No force, no pressure, shoulders relaxed. Ah, hmm. All right. So if you're following me quite closely, you might like to think about bringing the knees together with this support from the hands. The reason we do this is because we've just done quite a fairly intense stretch on the groin muscles here. So it's a good idea to support those muscles with the strength of the arms to bring them gently and closely together, just so that nothing is taking too much strain. And we can give ourselves a lovely hug. Ah, Now here, if we like, we can just have a gentle hug off the knees in towards the chest. And if you want to, and if it's comfortable, you can rest the forehead on this. And just allowing for that sensation of tactile caress, body receiving this kind of maternal energy, this maternal quality of holding itself. It's very nice. Just notice if the shoulders have a tendency to tense up towards the ears in this posture. We can see if we can prevent that from happening. Mm. Might feel a really nice stretch on the erectors, those lovely long muscles on each side of the spine. And as and when we're ready, we're going to have a rock and roll. So make sure there's enough space behind you for this next part, if you're up for it. You don't have to go all the way. We're going to transition the arms here. Maybe have a shake out and a wiggle out before you do that. Oh, mm. Take the hands, maybe give the hamstrings a little squeeze. That's nice. And then holding onto the hamstrings. If anyone knows what's coming, you're in for some good fun here. Again, make sure you've got plenty of room behind you. We're going to do a rock and roll. We're going to really feel the sensation on the ground. So feel the spine, really enjoying that rocking motion. So we're going to rock back. Ah, you can you can just keep the legs lifted if you want, or you can go the whole way. Ah, feel the spine massaged by the ground. You can do it slowly or quickly. If you go the whole way, you can enjoy the shoulder blades massaged on the ground as well. It's so, so nice for the back. This. Anyone who's complaining ever about back problems, give this a go at any point. Ah. It's so good. It's so fun. And it's so soothing at the same time. If anyone is used to doing this, you can go into plow pose. Again, if it's early in the morning or if the body is have got some stiffness or aches, pains, tension, then you might not want to do it. But if you do, you feel up for it and the body is allowing for that, then you can rest back, placing the toes on the ground behind the head. But please don't force it if it doesn't want to happen. Hey. So we're slowly making our way towards Shavasana, but we are still moving and playing. If you feel up for it and it feels like the right time, you might like to roll down and transition into happy baby pose. We take the outside edges off the feet and we press all of those tissues off the back of the body to the ground. Again, kinesthetic sensations opening up, feeling the earth beneath it. Taking a gentle and yet firm hold of the feet if you want. Alternatively, if you're not up for this, you can bring the knees to the chest. That's another option. Hey. So wherever you are, just enjoying that kinesthetic sensation, whatever it might be. If you are in happy baby or knees into chest or something else, you can play with tucking the chin gently in towards the chest, just to elongate that lovely line on the back of the neck. Mm. Ah. You might like to rock side to side. Tends to happen by itself quite intuitively when we get into this one. You might like to give the feet another little massage and squeeze, if that's available to you. You can even cross the legs and switch hands and feet. That's quite nice. This is another option. Cross the legs and gently pull the feet towards the the glutes. That's the word I'm looking for. Shoulders relax wherever you want. This one's quite nice because it actually brings the lumbar spine closer to the earth. Sometimes when we get into happy baby, everything floats off of the ground. And we find that almost the whole lumbar is off of the ground. But if we cross the legs here, gently pull the feet towards the glutes, we might find more stability in the lower back, as well as the mid and the upper. Very nice. Very nice. If you want to, you can bring both knees into the chest as another alternative. If you do that, you might like to think about hugging the shins instead of the knees. Again, this is helping the sacrum to stay firmly planted on the earth. And before we come into Shavasana, one more invitation, if you like, if you want to, is windshield wipers. A lovely way of relaxing that spine before we come into a relative stillness. Aye. Windshield wipers, where we bring the soles of the feet to the earth and twist from side to side with the knees. Hands can rest on the belly or they can rest out to the sides. You can rest it on the chest as well, or vertically parallel to the spine. And whenever you're ready, you can think about extending one leg out long and then the other. Coming into Shavasana, final resting pose. Lie the body down if you wish. Shavasana is usually supine, meaning that we're lying on our back, but it doesn't have to be that way. You can lie on your side or on the tummy. Ah. And once again, we're invited to come back to that sensation of body meeting ground. This exploration of the tactile realm or platform, the tactile dimension, has been rather joyful and playful. And now the tactile sensation is open in stillness. So just sensing in that the stillness of the body resting in this position, perhaps a horizontal position. And when the body rests in this horizontal position, this would seem to be another way of engaging rest and digest mode. And could you imagine that just through the simplicity of being fairly still right now and fairly quiet and with the eyes closed and the deep immersion into the tactile realm, that is allowing the body to really breathe, to really rest, to be really nourished by the simplicity of resting here. Just simply as it is. Simplicity of resting. And if you're following this voice somewhat closely, again, you may like to just filter these words out and allow the sounds to vibrate through the body. There's no need to be closely following these words. It's just about rest and digest and relaxation now. But nevertheless, you might like to imagine that the body could switch from tactile realm to interoception realm, the realm of the body's internal sensationality. So you can feel into the interoception, the internal landscape, we could say, in the relative. The sensation, for example, of the bones and the tissues deep within the body. The warmth and the core of the body. You could imagine it like a warm, cozy nest cave in the depths of the tissues and fibers. beautiful, warm, friendly darkness. You could also feel into the heartbeat and the lungs as they breathe here in harmony with the pulsation of the myocardium, the heart muscle. And you might feel sensations and vibrations harmoniously circulating around the abdomen as well, the internal organs and the digestive system, with a smooth, gentle current of movement with the breath into the belly. And you could further imagine that sensation, vibration, expanding out into the extremities, the arms and the legs, the hands and the feet, the head and the neck as well, as though the whole body could be illuminated with this radiant interoceptive beauty, quality of sensation, vibration, wide open in every cell, atom, fiber of the body. Harmoniously singing through these interoceptive and tactile sensations, radiant and alive, vibrant and vital, and yet calm and collected, relaxed. And whenever you're ready, I'd just like to explore that tactile realm again by reintroducing small movements into the fingers and toes and the hands and the feet. And the breath, the sensation of the breath also might like to play in synchronicity with those little flexions and extensions through the hands and the feet. As we breathe, we move again. And as we move again, perhaps the breath deepens, finding a natural reawakening of the body. Until eventually we're ready for a yawn, a sigh, a roll over to one side, or curling up, stretching the body out. Until we're ready to come to some kind of position of sitting. Take your time. Thank you so much for joining this Eugenie session on this no-show digital retreat. It's beautiful to be with you all. So lovely of you to join me and share. And if you really like it, then share with your friends. Spread it out. These sessions are recorded and you can watch them back on the other YouTube channel, Eugenie. Thank you so much. Namaste.